All right, just introduce the topics just so viewers know what we're talking about. We are going on discussion on kindness again. Very curious why we're encouraged to discuss this topic and probably go deeper. So the first three questions asked were, what is it? Why do we need it? And how does kindness help us? And the focus was on self-kindness. So what kind of answers did you guys get? Who wants to start? Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah. What is kindness? Kindness is an act of love, doing things for the love of doing them, and can be purpose and service driven. Why do we need it? It aligns us with our soul. And how does it help us? It helps us to not feel pain and cause harm. There's no resistance or tension in it.
Wow, that's lovely. Thank you. Okay. Who else? Go ahead, Bern.
What is it? It's an inspiration. I started with saying it's a whisper in the heart, but then I thought, no, you know what? Sometimes it's a shout, like our heart is shouting out to allow, to do something, step into that which I or we find nurturing, pleasurable, pleasing, caring, happy, connects me. And then this is where I just went like, wow, it was an awakening for me. It connects me to my guides, to God. This is where, when I'm in this place, this is where I'm connected and I hear, and it's like all knowing. Yeah. And why? So I can give from this, from this place of connectedness and from my guides. Be there for others from a place of being still, happy, feeling full of love. And it helps us in that it brings love and peace into the world when we're listening, when we're in that place of still or kindness.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Ooh, profound. Who else wants to share? Jill?
So I got, so as far as what is it, the doorway to God's love, which I then immediately judged the answer. So I asked for clarification, and it says that we have to walk through kindness to get to love. Wow. And just like truth and love go hand in hand, kindness and curiosity go hand in hand. Oh. Why do we need it? It's for boundaries for ourselves and for others. So we know when we're crossing somebody else's boundary, we know when we're crossing our own boundaries. Wow. It guides us in our sin, or guides us in sin, like to be able to know when we're sinning and when we're not. Sorry, how does it help us? It gives us the ability to stand up for ourselves. Okay. And then I got this very funny image of those robotic vacuums, those little, yeah. What are those things? I can't remember what those things are called. Anyways, that it's those robovacs for our soul, that it goes around and just picks up all of the little minute remnants of us processing, and it just helps kind of clean up the little stuff that we don't need to be, the little dust bunnies that we don't need to be concerned about.
Wow, that's lovely. Makes you want to ask more questions, doesn't it? It's like, wait, what? How? So yeah, so you can definitely expand on it afterwards. Keep letting yourself expand on the questions. Absolutely. Anybody else? Stuff?
I got a tender, soft, gentle, allowing of all parts space to express. So I asked, like, what does that mean more? To be kind to me is to allow the pain and difficult emotions to come forward, giving them equal attention to, say, joy and happiness. You need to be kind to the damaged parts of yourself in order to process the pain. You can't just get it over with. And then the example of like when you give something 15 minutes to complete, it takes all day shows up. But if you give it all day, it likely needs less time. My guides were showing me like, you got to give this the space that it needs. You can't just bully your way through it. And then right at the end, it was like, well, grieving is part of who I am, so be kind to this. And then I asked them to expand, and just a huge wall showed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want to know.
No.
The feeling. Okay. Thank you. Well, we're getting different answers, different flavor today than we did last time. So it looks like it's good to revisit, because it kind of allow a deeper, like last time you were just like, wait, that's kindness? We didn't think that was kindness. So, it was kind of like an introductory. Nori, go ahead.
It was interesting because the first thing that came in when I said, okay, try and be as quiet as possible was the phrase, treat others as you would have them treat you, but it came across as treat yourself as you would treat others. So how kind, because that is one of the things that I've talked for years about, that's what I wanted to do. And I thought, okay, so treat yourself as you would treat others is what it is to me. Treating myself as I would treat others, because I don't do that. There's a whole different measuring stick there. I need to do that to truly feel, understand, and experience what compassion and empathy are. If I think I'm compassionate and empathetic, but if I'm not using that same yardstick on myself, then, am I trying to be compassionate and empathetic for nice or just to show? So where is that, what is this veil that I might be putting up? Am I putting that up? Am I putting that mask up? So it's kind of showing me a little bit of shadow. Am I showing? And so being good or being kind to yourself. And so that leads into the next ones. How does it help? Well, it helps because if you achieve those first two things, then you'll be able to truly be kind to the rest of the world and understand completely what that means and know where to go with that. Because if you don't have those first two steps, it's like you have to go to high school before you go to college, and then you go to college before you go for your master's. And so you can't think that I can't think that I'm being kind to the world unless I achieve those first two steps first.
Okay, you got very clear, like you got to develop the stuff, you got to develop the foundation. Okay, that's lovely. It's like back to preschool. So what I got was kindness is a desire or an act to see the good and the worth in myself and others. It's about having faith in my goodness, in one's goodness, not giving up on myself. So when I'm being kind to myself, I am saying that I'm worth fighting for, that I'm worth redemption, that there's something good in me that doesn't matter how bad the sin awareness is, don't give up on myself. It's about not giving up on myself. And it's a medium through which love can be received, and I can experience worth. So when I'm being kind to myself, my guides are able to convey feeling of worth to me. And it helped us believe that redemption is possible, and it allows love and help to enter me through the medium of kindness to myself. So yeah, I felt a lot of feelings of times when I feel like there has to be something good in me, there has to be something redeemable inside of myself. I can't give up on fighting to restore my soul. Sounds like that's a place of kindness. That's what it means. Yeah. Okay, so let's ask, well, yeah, okay, let's ask the next 3 questions that are relevant. How has unkindness to myself affected me? Or lack of kindness, or not being kind, whatever wording works. How has lack of kindness to myself affected me? What are my blocks to self-kindness? Or why am I blocked? I feel like they're 2 different questions. Well, go ahead and ask questions and see if you get maybe the same answer for both. But what are my blocks to kindness to myself? And why am I blocked to kindness to myself? And then let's come back once you get your answers.
How unkindness have affected me, and I've been treating myself really harsh, hating myself, which have affected my children badly. So I've not been kind at all to myself. What are my blocks to self-kindness? I don't want to feel and release how I feel I'm unworthy, that I'm shameful, that I'm disgusting and unwanted. That I don't want to feel that. But I know I have it, but I don't want to go in it.
You don't want to release it, yeah.
No, don't want to release it. And why I am blocked is because I don't want to feel the pain that gets exposed when I see kindness or when I feel kindness. I don't want to feel how badly I've been treated and how badly I've been treating myself and how badly I have treated others.
Because when someone's being kind to you, especially our guides, they're treating us with worth, and that. Okay, thank you. That's really good answers. Andy, what did you get?
Just that. So, how does unkindness to myself affect me? So, it pushes other people away from me.
Oh, wow. Okay. Were you surprised by that answer?
No, not so much, no.
Okay.
So it's like being unkind to yourself in this respect is not accepting often kindness from others.
No.
So that pushes them away.
It's yeah. I didn't consider that. That's true though. Yeah, okay. And did you get to the blocks?
No, I didn't really feel any block.
Okay, thank you. Hadi, do you wish to share what you got?
Well, being unkind, how it has affected me is that I feel like shit, tired and unmotivated.
Ah, now you know where
And
that came from.
yes. And what are my blocks? I feel that I'm not worthy, and it's too much work.
Okay.
And for why am I blocked? Is because then I won't be able to stop crying once I start.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I got. Thank you.
Insightful, huh? Okay. Anybody else want to share what they got to this one? Casey?
How has, I had to rephrase the question a little bit for myself. How has not being kind to myself harmed me?
Yes.
It's opened me up to more abuse.
Yeah.
It's taken me away from my own choices. In other words, I gave away my free will. And actually to the point where I didn't believe that I had any free will. I didn't believe that that was a thing.
Yeah.
My blocks to self-kindness, the biggest one is self-judgment.
Okay.
And then also wanting to fit in, so seeking approval from others.
Okay.
And then why am I blocked to kindness? I'm believing a lie that it's selfish to be kind to myself.
Yeah.
And that actually sacrificing myself and sacrificing my time for others is more loving than having self-love or having any kindness.
They are different questions, aren't they? Like you get very separate answers for the two wording. Okay. And when you're working with judgment, I looked at judgment as an addiction. Once I saw it as an addiction, and then I challenge it as that this is an addiction, and I just have to challenge it and disengage it so that the fear can come up. That's how I got through breaking through judgment, self-judgment, because it's just an act of wanting to punish yourself. I mean, just see it as an addiction. So I got, it was very eye-opening. I've been affected by lack of kindness because it makes me feel as if I deserve punishment, abuse, and put downs. I allow people and spirits to attack me when I'm not kind to myself. I'm harsh and dry and cold and empty, and a lot of self-hatred comes in when I'm not kind to myself. And what are my blocks? Fear that I will not be as aware of my shortcomings, that I will be letting myself off the hook. So I have this idea that if I'm strict and harsh with myself, then I'll be on top of me and myself, and I'll be more aware and vigilant of all of my shortcomings. That's the perception I have, that if you're being kind, that means that you're letting somebody get away with something. So I can clearly see how that got created in my childhood. But kindness was seen as spoiling somebody. You're letting them off the hook. They're not going to learn their lesson. Now they will not get the point of, you can only learn through harshness. And why am I blocked? Because I feel that somebody should be kind to me first, and then I'm allowed to be kind to myself. So that's the demand I have on others, that you be kind to me first. That means that now I'm allowed to have kindness. You show me empathy, so now I'm allowed to grieve how bad I feel, which is an addiction. And it's also about if I'm kind to myself, I will attract more attacks. There's a fear that if I start to be nice to myself, I'll get more attack from other people, which is also a childhood creation, because when we judge and shame ourselves, then our childhood environment backs off and say, oh yeah, they got the point, they got the lesson, they're feeling terrible about themselves now, so I don't have to punish them as harsh. So we do that as a way of preventing or reducing punishment, and now it's an addiction. So that's what I got. So very, very eye-opening. Okay, so let's move on to the last 3 questions, and then I've added another question. But let's ask the next set of questions, which is, give me an example of kindness to myself. You know, how have I been kind to myself? Give me an example of that. Give me an example of how I've been kind to others. And what does it feel like for our guides when they're being kind to us? What's their experience like? So let's ask these questions and come back.
Could you say the last one, Dharm, please, again?
Yeah. Give me an example of when I've been kind to myself. Give me an example of when I've been kind to others, like what it really means, true kindness. And give me, can I feel what it's like for my guide when they're being kind to me, which is all the time. But what's it like? What's it feel like for them? What's kindness like for them? So we can feel the real pure version of kindness. Because our guides are always kind to us, but it's like, what's it like for you? What's it feel like? So that we get a real sense of what kindness can really be in a pure sense.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Thanks.
Okay. Oh, that got pretty emotional for me. To have a good cry about that. Okay. I don't know if we could get to question 3. It's a very emotional place to get to question 3, but even wanting to know, or having that desire wanting to know, creates an opening in your soul to have the answer to come through to you. Wanting to know what it feels like is like going to really help us as we go forward. Okay, so who wants to share? Casey, I can feel it. I can feel it. Sorry, and Noreen, you'll be next.
Like, I don't know. There's yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is excitement. I've never been able to do question 3 ever.
Uh-huh.
I did this time, and I'm like, did I feel it? Did I feel it? Is that what it is? So I'll start with the other 2 first.
Okay.
So examples of when I have been kind to myself. Actually, this surprised me quite a bit. Okay. Normally I get like, oh, when you take a bath, when you when I do something constructive. But this time I felt when I've left organizations that are emotionally harmful, leaving them to be true to myself and realizing that they were harmful for me, leaving them was a huge act of kindness for myself.
Okay.
When I've been kind to others, also partially the above, because, and I forgot that I did this, when I left, a couple of them, people would ask me why I was leaving, and I told the truth.
Wow.
And I didn't realize that that was actually kind, because it didn't feel kind.
No.
At all. It felt terrifying. And then when I asked my guide, Sarah, what does kindness look like for you? And I don't entirely know what this means yet, but I just felt this immense amount of patience. Okay. And I felt like we have all the time in the world.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Grace, do you want to share? Oh, sorry, Noreen. Go ahead, Noreen.
First, I had to answer them backwards because everything came backwards to me. So I'm going to answer them the way that they came to me.
Absolutely.
The feeling of the guide, the feeling of what the guides feel, or a guide feels, or just whatever. I mean, I don't use that word guide, but I know that there's something that is offering me this, is speaking to me. So it just, all I got was, it's a natural condition. It's a natural state. It's like a tree that simply grows in a forest because that's its destiny. That is,
Wow.
that was what was coming out of the end of my pen. So, and then the second question, and then everything got slowed down, just like when Stephanie said, you know, you got a question, it was a big wall. It was, everything started just getting molasses like, and it just says, what that second question, being kind to others, I didn't get an example, but I got just the feeling of being fulfilled, and I feel light. All it was like, when I do it, I just feel fulfilled and light. An example of kindness to myself. Then the shadow stuff said, well, if I'm kind to myself, then I have to pay for it by myself, all my own money that I've earned. Nobody else can do it, because then I will take away from others. Or I have to be sneaky about it so that nobody sees that I'm actually treating myself. So that was, I was going, I think that that's more valuable for me to know than what an example is, because I'm going, is that where I'm, that's what's being said to me. So I just took that and said, that's it.
What you got was that those addictions are really big. Tackle that and you'll be able to step into kindness to yourself. Yeah, that's really very useful information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. How about others? You got something you want to share? Jill? You don't want to share? Oh, okay. Some close to heart kind of answers here, hey? Catherine?
So unlike Casey, where she had a really profound answer for the first one, mine was more about like the self-care, self-love thing. Those are examples like when I go out for a walk and hang out with my turtles. They're not mine. I like to just say that because I love them so much. Yeah, just when I finally take the opportunity to rest and honor that I'm just really tired of putting up with everybody else's stuff. Something that Jill was talking about earlier with boundaries. I'm like, yeah, that word doesn't, I don't have those. So still working on that. How the second one is how an example of how I've been kind to others. Actually, what came to me is more like the love language thing. So when I give gifts, whether it's gifts of my time or gifts when I make food for people or make things for people. Also, another one that came up was positive affirmation. So when I tell people things that are meaningful and genuine that I appreciate about them or that I recognize in them, that feels like I am being kind to them. That's what I was shown, is when I'm expressing like genuine love for another person. And that was really interesting because I was like, I actually don't do that for myself. So that was different to see how I have love for, or kindness to self and kindness to others are very different. And then what is my guide's experience when they're being kind to me? All that really came in there was an intense amount of joy, and actually more than that was relief. Like, oh, she's finally letting me love her. Okay, that's really great. Like a sense of, yeah, and just this relief that's there. So that's kind of what came up for me.
They're always doing a sneak attack of kindness on us, like tiny openings.
Yeah.
Love. Thank you. That's really good answers. Andy, what did you get? Did you get some answers?
Yeah, well, there seemed to be so many ways that I was being kind to myself.
That's lovely.
Yeah, taking time for myself, meditation, yoga, walks.
Yeah.
And with others, it was sharing myself with others. So, when I'm open to share my stories with others, and share intimacies with others. And then, it was just a kind of a loving flow of energy that I felt for the guide.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically just them being them. They're loving you, and that's kindness. And I really, what the answer there is really good. It's like when you're sharing yourself with others, that's an act of kindness. Like, wow, when you're sharing yourself, like I feel like when Catherine is giving gifts to people, you're sharing yourself. You're sharing your food, you're sharing your time, you're sharing thoughts and values and appreciation you have of others. Like sharing yourself with others is an act of kindness. That's a good workshop title right there. It's like, what does that even mean? What does it mean to share myself? Because I'm usually in addictions, and I don't want to do that. But what's real? What's not? So that's a really good answer. Thank you. Anybody else got something that was intriguing? Jess, do you want to share?
Mine's pretty similar to everyone else. I got an example of kindness to myself is taking a bath. But like the first thing Casey said, but it's like I really like take the time and like do the salts and the essential oil and like make it a thing. So taking that time, and then like the self massage and like actually being in my body, which I think is a rare thing for me. And then kindness to others I got when I teach workshops. So like sharing yourself. But then I felt really blocked to that because I engage in so many different addictions with others when I'm teaching workshops. So it's a fragment of that, like it's a glimpse of what that feels like, and that it can only grow when I start to expose and work through those addictions instead of engaging them. So I taught a workshop yesterday and felt a lot of shame afterwards. So going through that. And then what's our guide's experience of kindness? I felt really blocked to feeling that. And then it was just like, it just is like, it's just their way of being. And I was like, okay, but how can that, almost like it was hard for it to be articulated in a way I could understand. And then I got, it's fun. It just is, it feels really good, light. And I got, there's no demands, which led me to, I make a lot of demands in this addiction, being entitled. So when I can work through that, then I can start to feel it more.
Then your real personality will come through, which will have, sounds like the more we become who we are, the more kindness just exudes from us. If you look at how our guides are. So at some point, as we release all our addiction, we're always just kind. Like, how cool is that? But I think we have to cultivate it. It has got to be a choice you got to make. But now I'm really curious about this topic of like sharing myself. What does that even mean? So next Sunday, unless something else come up, let's work through that. If there's a tiny glimpse of what does it mean to share myself, what is that even? If we could even find 1% of that in ourselves through the process, and then choose to really engage and enhance that, then you're less engaging your addictions. You allow that. You kind of go, oh, is that who I am? Is that my nature? It could be a fun thing to do next Sunday. Unless, 5 minutes before and I go, no, it's a different topic. You never know. But I'm very intrigued. It seems like fun. And what I got was, I was shown that I was like a little kid. I was like 3 or 4, felt like 4. And I was being groomed to be harsh to others. I was being groomed to be harsh to my sisters, and I chose. It was like that. There was a choice I made that, no, I'm not going to treat people badly. It was like this stubbornness, but it was this clear a choice. And that was an act of kindness to me when I chose that I'm not going to treat people badly, that I will not give up on myself. And when I'm in pain, like even as a child, there'll be a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, but I'll hold it in. I'll keep it in. I won't lash out at people as much. From that place of pain, like I won't put that on others. And that was an act of kindness to myself that I did that, which is an intriguing answer. It's like, oh, that's an act of kindness. Okay. And kindness to others, I was shown that wanting to learn how to love others while acknowledging that I don't know how to love people and that I'm actually not even being loving to people, but teach me. That's an act of kindness to others when I go, I don't know how to do this, show me the way. And right now, I don't know how, I'm not even doing it. But that's actually an act of kindness to somebody else to do that, which again makes me go, really? Okay. And also my wanting to feel about people the way God feels about them. So usually I have a lot of like anger and addiction and demands coming out of me, and I can feel it coming out of me. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do here? I'm just, yeah. But then I will sometimes ask, okay, God, how do you feel about this person right now? So I could just borrow that feeling going, okay, God is feeling this other feeling towards this person. So I can soften or not engage my own emotion towards people. And that is also an act of kindness, that even though I'm struggling with it, I'm trying to find a way of how can I at least bring God into it and let God love them while I try to deal with my demons, is an act of kindness to others. And that was very interesting. Also, when I pray on behalf of others, even though I feel helpless. In the moment, I'm like, I don't know what to do for someone right now. I feel really helpless. But I pray, like a deep prayer, God, please help them through this. It's also an act of kindness for others. So it was really good examples. And what's it like for my guides? I really fought that one. But it's this feeling of them wanting to soothe and comfort and remove pain and actually give energy and sustenance into our body, into our soul. And they believe in us. They believe in our goodness. They believe in us. They don't give up on us. And they also, I felt that they also pray on our behalf. They will pray to God for us. It's also an act of kindness from them. It'd be good for me to allow more of that. Okay, really good answers today. We went really deep today compared to last time. And I feel like we could ask one last question, which is, how can I cultivate more kindness? How can I become kinder to myself? Like this kindness is an intriguing muscle in my soul. How can I develop it? How can I cultivate, develop, increase kindness? Why don't we ask that question as the last question? So, how to cultivate kindness for ourselves now that we've seen how powerful it is, and we have a strong desire, hopefully, that we would like to cultivate this. We need this. Then, yeah, what kind of answers did you guys get? Let me start with Casey, just so I can see everyone on the screen in sort of order.
So the biggest thing that I kept feeling is keep doing what I'm doing, feeling the emotions, taking time to feel them, with the action of writing down questions that I have and like conversing with my guides basically. And also really be diligent about identifying my addictions and my facades, because that'll help bring up more emotion and it'll help break that down.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. Catherine?
Mine went back to, again, like what Jill was saying with boundaries. So establish and enforce boundaries, prioritize myself, and start practicing more positive self-talk, like the way I express kindness to others, start kind of having a mirror and expressing that for myself.
Beautiful. Thank you. Steph?
I got sleep, stillness, going through my definition of productivity, which is out of balance and harmony. coming at actions with kindness will enhance my boundaries and effectiveness and efficiency. It's very counterintuitive to the current way I think about things. And then I got that sense of like food and nourishment, engaging my sense of smell through essential oils, mental practices of like looking at life through silver linings and not always focusing on the bad of every situation. So start to see like what's good about this thing going on right now. And then that'll just kind of like pull up, as Casey was saying, like that facade piece that's dredging up all of these emotions about like, why do I think kindness is awful? Like, why do I think self-love is horrible as a piece of how do I want to express myself? So yeah, I'm just at this moment acknowledging a giant facade.
Okay. I love it when we're here going, oh, there's another facade. I'm going to the gym right now, but okay, holding on.
Yeah, this facade that I am, this negative outlook person is like deeply confronting right now.
Hey. Okay. We're going to get to the point where we have to congratulate each other going, you found a facade. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's really good. Thank you. Noreen, what did you get?
I have to confess that I went to warm up my tea. So, but what I found was something that I think that a guy gave me because I haven't looked at this in a month. 3 years ago, my mom died, and I have this thing that I came from her stuff. It just says getting along with people.
Okay.
And it kind of, and one of the things that it said, be cheerful, keep the corners of your mouth turned up, hide your worries and disappointments under a smile. And I thought, holy shit. That is because I've been thinking this whole time that this whole thing was around, it's multi-generational, or it feels like it's multi-generational for me. And I've been keeping stuff around energetically like this that is not helpful. So being kind to myself is throwing shit like this away.
Excellent. I was just going to go,
but yeah.
Okay, good. Like boundaries, boundaries are coming up. It's like boundaries are a form of kindness. Or when you're kind, boundary comes naturally. That's another perspective there that Jill has introduced today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hadley, what did you get?
I got put myself first.
Yeah.
And declutter. So very similar to Noreen. I cannot let things go.
All of her needs
Very difficult.
are coming through the clutter. That is really good because it pushes everything, you know. Yeah. We all need many different issues to come trigger our emotions. You've got one that'll trigger all of it.
Yes. Which is why I wasn't getting to it, but now, yeah, I need to. I'm gonna enlist my daughter to do it because she'll do it with no feelings whatsoever. She's gonna get it. There's some I'll have to do myself, but yes.
But the point is to trigger the pain, to trigger discomfort, to trigger all. It's an opportunity to get all of that discomfort and queasiness. Like when you're feeling all that, you're working through emotions.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. Right
it's very scary.
Absolutely.
It's very, very scary.
Look at the box and sit there and shake and go, I'm so terrified about throwing this right now. What an opportunity to process your emotion. It's just a box, not a person.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, taking your time to really let that drag and go into all this emotion is an act of kindness. Instead of saying, I should just get this over with, which is what I project at you. But it's like, no, actually, what a beautiful way to work through all your emotions without harming anybody else. Okay, thank you. Jill.
I just got to stay curious.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Grace?
So how can I cultivate kindness? I don't want to. And then one of my guides said to me, but that you're already cultivating that in that statement, because I'm being emotionally honest. So someone's having a really funny chuckle at me right now, but yeah, basically I don't want to. I don't, yeah.
Okay. And that emotional honesty is an act of kindness already. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Anita.
Yeah, I got that too. I don't want to. I don't deserve it, and I'm full of shite. And then I connected to my guide, and I say, I don't have to. Just let my guides have kindness and love for me now, and ask them to pray for me. And that got me, yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's really good. Like let them love you, let them be kind to you while you work that you don't feel like you're worth it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And Grace, that could be one. Like it could be that you feel I'm not worth it.
Yeah, that's right. I don't feel. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Andy.
Follow your true desires. Keep aware and feeling, and check with yourself if your desires are pure and where they're coming from.
Beautiful. Okay. Keep staying in your desires and examine what's my true motivation here for my desire. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Good.
It's no mistake that I'm after Andy. So I like that. Follow my true desires. So mine was not making or telling myself to do what I don't want to do. The idea of commitment that was instilled in me to be good at something. You have to practice to get the rewards. Even if you don't want to, you do it anyway. Practice makes perfect. Notice and give up self-judgment. Be in the self-judgment. See what it feels like, but give up the addiction that goes along with it. Let go of controlling others. Feel what control feels like. Go into that.
Wow, you're getting like
expose myself to get clear on what my true desires are, not just keep them hidden to myself. Noticing that I'm feeling not good enough.
That's really good.
Unworthy, shameful.
Yeah. And I like what you got there. Experience the judgment, don't agree with the judgment. Because when you're engaging the addiction of judgment, that's you attacking yourself. But when you allow yourself to experience the judgment, now you're processing it and you're healing it. That's the difference. You have to, really good distinguishing there.
The kindness, yeah. Thank you.
Jess?
I got like a feeling from my guides, like all of this cheerleading and encouragement and kindness, and it just made me cry. And so I got, do what you love, remember who you are and that you have so much to give. Stop being afraid, make mistakes and learn from them. You're so close. Ease up, be gentle, keep going, connect to your why. Why are you doing this? Why am I doing this? So lots of crying, and now I'm feeling terror. Now I'm really like feeling like shaking. I got like feel kindness from my guides. But when I feel kindness or from anywhere, I just start to cry. So it's the worth issue, and then softening to be able, like taking my guard down enough to be able to receive it. And so I think that's the terror that I'm feeling right now, that I'm so scared to take off the armor to receive kindness and to have the permission without attacking myself and feeling guilty about it.
Wow. Well done. That's good answers. Okay. I got choose to see myself the way God sees me, which makes me emotional and resistant, and to restore my faith in my goodness, and to restore my faith in humanity's goodness. Believe in myself. I'm worth the fight, the struggle, the hardship, the wrong turn, the mistakes, the efforts. Like I'm, always trying to work, trying to figure stuff out, and we make mistakes and we take wrong turns, and all of that struggle that we take to heal ourselves. We're worth that. We're worth the fight. When I believe in that, then that will restore and enhance my kindness. But to see myself the way God sees me, that's going to be, I'm quite blocked to it right now. And that would, because whenever I ask God for truth, it's always given with kindness and non-judgment. It's always a beautiful experience. And it contrasts the way I'm being treated otherwise. And I can feel the contrast going, that's an attack, this is truth. This is what it feels like. But to see myself the way God sees me could be a very, very, it will make me softer and gentler. So I can feel myself quite blocked to this. And I think I'm going to explore why that is. Because that sure will make things go faster and gentler. Wow, I'm now really curious to go back on a few other topics and go, how much deeper can we go every time? This is profound. Thank you. Your sharing has been very eye-opening for everyone here. Everyone's listening to everybody else's answers, and our desire to get answers makes it easier for everybody to receive answers. The desire for truth, the desire to connect, echoes out, and it creates this collective vacuum of like easily being able to receive answers. So thank you everyone for that. It's been an absolute privilege to spend this hour and a half with you. So next week, what does it even mean to share yourself? What are you even sharing? I'm really intrigued. That would be a good topic, Andy. Thank you for inspiring that. And I'll see you guys next week.